All right, guys, check it out. So I've got my boat cleaned out. My boat is about to go to its new owner. I want to do a fun little video right now. I've got a bunch of rods that I pulled out of my boat, and I have stuff tied on from just this fishing season, just the various things. And I've got, I mean, look at this. I got this big, I don't think we're gonna take this, but here's the plan. I'm gonna grab one bait and we're gonna go down to the pond. And I've got a lot of fish in my pond, a lot of small ones, but I was gonna take one bait and I don't think I'm gonna take this, but this is funny. Check out the old Savage gear, the rat. We're not gonna take the rat, but I'm gonna pick out one bait, and I've already got my eye on it because it's fall time and it's a fun time of year. And I'm gonna take this Berkley J-Walker topwater walking bait. It's on, this is what I throw my topwater on, a 7.3 medium heavy. This is a world-class Fenwick rod, and I've got it on a Revo STX. It's got 8-to-1 gear ratio, so it's fast. Got that on about 40-pound braid, and we're gonna take it down to the pond, and we're gonna see if we can catch some fish on it, maybe do a couple tips on how I throw topwater, some different stuff, but this should just be fun, so come on. Yeah, come on. All right, guys, this is key right here. Check this out. You see this tree? I pushed this tree in the pond. It's out a little deeper. You've got structure. That's where your bigger fish are gonna hang out. You gotta have, you usually wanna throw this thing around something. And I'm gonna fire my first cast. This is really important. I'm gonna fire my first cast off the end of it, and then I'll work down the wood. If I was in a boat, I would do the same thing. I would throw on the very outside. Usually that's where your bigger fish are gonna hang out, is on the very tip where the deeper water is. And then I'll start to work my way down the piece of wood. A little different when you're on the bank, but not much. I used to have some brush somewhere right in there. I think that's right over that brush pile. Just skipping them. It's a healthy looking one, but he's a baby. The nice thing about, when I'm throwing topwater, especially like these kind of baits, is always throw them on braid. And I'm using Berkley X9 braid, 40-pound test. And the cool thing about it is, like, back in the day we used monofilament all the time. And monofilament is great, but it has a lot of stretch, and you would have to work like even harder to get that bait to walk out there, especially on long casts. And now with braid, you can easily, you just barely have to tap the end of your rod like that, and you can work your bait. And it casts too, you could cast it further. So that Berkley X9 is really good stuff, and that's all I use on my topwaters. Buzz bait, frog. When I'm throwing a frog, I usually throw, like, you know, heavy, like 60-pound, 65-pound braid. Top waters like this, I'll use 40. Really depends on the situation. If I have a lot of cover and stuff under the water, stumps or bushes, and I'm throwing a walking bait like this over them, I'll probably beef it up a little bit just in case I get one in there, I can get them out. But you gotta be really careful you don't straighten your hooks out on your bait. So that's why I use these Fusion 19 hooks, which all Berkley baits come with the Fusion 19s on them. But you can, look how far I could throw that thing. I mean, there's a brush pile right out there in the middle. I was hoping there might be a little better fish out there. Maybe he'd come up and eat me. It just makes it easier to work these baits and fish these baits for an extended period of time, throwing braid. And the fish can't see your line, you're good. You can throw it in clear water. If you want, you could put a leader on it in front of the bait. That's actually a really good tip too. If you're ever throwing a top water and if you're ever throwing a top water and your braid is getting around your front hooks, you can take a piece of fluorocarbon or mono, like some heavy mono, and put it in front of it, and that stuff doesn't like twist and stuff up very good or a lot, and so it'll keep that braid from getting on your front hook a lot of times. Put a little piece of fluorocarbon on there. Oh, he come off! Dag nabbit. Hey, but I wanted to catch that fish, but it is what it is. It's just fun, you know, throwing top water. It's fall time of year, guys. Get your top water in your hand. 7.3, medium heavy is what I prefer. 7 foot would be fine if you're a little bit shorter. I'm a little bit taller of a guy. Like I said, I use these Fenwick World Class rods, Revo STX, 8-to-1 gear ratio. Faster gear ratio, less work you have to do. Braid, less work you have to do when you're throwing top water, buzz baits, whatever. The Chopo, doesn't matter, but that's the perfect setup. It's got a nice little soft tip on it like that, and it's still got pretty heavy backbone. It's a light rod. I can put this thing in my hand. I can cover this whole pond bank right here, or I can go down in my boat and cover a large area on top water. So fall time, guys, pick up a top water.